You're listening to Wealthy-esque. We are a community of lawyers who believe that true wealth is having control of our time. I'm Ro Thomas, and as a busy wife, mom, and former Big Law associate, I know all too well the tension between the culture of the legal profession and pretty much everything else you want to do in life. That's why each week I'm bringing you the information and tools you need to improve your money mindset and manage your money to create true wealth. Because ultimately, it's not about the money. It's about the freedom and flexibility the money affords. Hey friend, welcome back to the show. I hope you're doing well and having an amazing day so far. Today, we are talking about consistency. I see so many lawyers get into this start and stop cycle with their finances, where they'll get started and they'll be moving in the right direction, making some progress, and then they fall off track. They quit, they give up. And many lawyers aren't achieving their financial goals simply because they don't keep taking consistent action toward their goals. The biggest reason I think this happens is people expect things to just work instantly these days. It's an effect of the society we live in, right? We are so used to getting anything we want with instant downloads and free 2-day shipping, and we just don't have to wait for things like we used to. So maybe you expect that you're going to start this new way of looking at your money and managing your finances, and you're going to see immediate results. And you're going to immediately be able to turn things around, and it should just be easy, the end. And then that's not what happens. Right? It takes longer than you think it should. You think it should be going faster. You should be seeing results faster. And you think it's not working, or you think it's taking too long, and then you quit or you give up. Some of my clients, being super type A overachiever lawyers, like you might be, like I am, they'll do this thing where we're only a few sessions in and they're beating themselves up for not having made more progress. And I have to remind them that they have been managing their money or not managing their money in a particular way for years. And a month or so of coaching isn't going to completely turn that around. It doesn't happen that quickly, although it'd be great if it did. I would love to be able to help people turn everything around in a single month, but that's just not the way it works, right? We're rewiring your brain and the way you think about money, and that's not going to be a quick, instant process. Another reason I think people often quit is they try to take what I call a crash diet approach to their finances. So maybe you've been doing the no spend months and restricting yourself on what you can and can't buy and cutting out all the fun things you enjoy and only spending on necessities. But then what happens is you get burned out with that, right? You start to feel like you need a break. So you take a break. You go back to how you were managing your money before, and then it starts getting out of hand again, or it gets, to a level that you don't like. So you go back to the crash diet and you end up in this yo-yo cycle, similar to what happens with actual crash diets. You're trying to take these actions that aren't sustainable, that you don't want to keep doing for the rest of your life. And so you can endure it for a little while, but then you need a break, you stop, then you go back to it, and then you stop, and this whole back and forth. But doing something new for a month and then giving up when you don't see the progress you want as quickly as you want, or doing the crash diet, scorched earth, cut everything to get my finances on track, and then burn out, neither of those approaches is going to get you to your goals. It's not about just trying this thing for a little while to see if it works. And somebody actually told me that once. They said they put some money in the stock market to see if it would work. But it's not just some trick to see if it'll work. Investing as well it takes consistent actions, right? It takes being consistent, putting your money to work for you, not let me put this little bit in and see if it works and that didn't work, so I'm going to cash out. What's going to get you to your goals is being consistent with the way you manage your finances over time until you achieve the goal. So changing the way you think about and manage your money is going to take time, right? It takes patience. And we often underestimate how much effort it will take or how much time it will take to change the way we think or the way that we manage our money or to create a new habit to really get this new way of doing something ingrained. But if you've been managing your money and thinking about money in a certain way for 30 or 40 or 50 years, hearing one podcast episode or trying something for a month or working with a coach for one session or even a few sessions likely isn't going to undo all of that. It's not going to be an overnight thing. It will take time. It'll take practice to consistently take different actions that will lead you to different results. And this process can feel kind of slow, right? The changes you want to see can feel like they are taking a long time, which is a big part of why I think it's so important to celebrate yourself, which includes celebrating those smaller milestones along the way to the ultimate goal. So often we only want to focus on the ultimate goal and we'll, wait to celebrate until we achieve the big thing that we want to do. But when it feels like you're not making progress, having those little celebrations along the way can help you keep going, right? When it feels like you're not making progress, you are so much more likely to give up than when you're looking at your progress over time, celebrating those milestones that you hit along the way, because those celebrations show your brain that what you're doing actually is working, even if it feels like it's not sometimes, right? I remember when we were paying off our student loans and we were just slogging along and it felt like it was never going to end. It felt like it wasn't working. It wasn't moving, but we could look back at what we had done before, right? I've told you before about how we had our spreadsheet where we kept track of all of our debts and we would highlight the debt in green once it was paid off, and being able to look back and see how much green was on the spreadsheet versus what it was, the year before, 2 years before. That helped us to stay motivated, right? That'll help you stay motivated because you see that the efforts actually are paying off. They're not in vain. But when you keep starting and stopping and starting and stopping and getting started and then giving up again, you're only prolonging the journey to achieve your goals. Not only does the start and stop cycle steal your momentum, but you're also building up all this evidence in your mind of all the times you've failed. And we can say failed in quotations, right? But all the times that you gave up, all the times you didn't keep going because it seemed like it was taking too long or it was too hard. And it makes it that much harder to get going again. What if the only reason you haven't achieved your financial goals yet is because you keep stopping and not being consistent? I've talked before about how this whole money thing is a lifestyle change. So it's not just this temporary thing you're going to do for a little while and then you can go back to what you've been doing, right? Go back to the way it was before. That's how you undo all the progress you make. But you want to change the way you think about your money forever. You want to be thinking about your finances and your money management habits in terms of your overarching goals and whether the decisions you make and the things you do move you toward those goals or not. Then you want to make the decisions and take the actions that do move you forward consistently until you achieve your goals. Consistency requires discipline. Discipline is a matter of making decisions and doing things you may not always feel like doing to achieve something you want more. Only you can decide whether your financial goals are worth doing those things you may not want to do at times or that may feel uncomfortable. But the truth is, as uncomfortable as it might be to change your financial habits, it's also really uncomfortable to be stressed out about your money all the time and not know if you're going to overdraft your account and feel like you have nothing to show for all the money you've made to this point. Almost anything will work if you keep at it long enough, if you keep going, if you don't quit. Sometimes you're going through and implementing things in your finances and it feels like it's not working. It feels like you're never going to achieve your goals, but you're actually a lot closer than you think. But you'll never know that if you just give up. Giving up is the only way that you ensure your failure. Most people aren't willing to keep going when things feel hard. Most people would rather just give up, right? They're not willing to take consistent action even when it seems like it's taking too long. Most people aren't willing to keep going until they figure it out. But when you do the things that most people aren't willing to do, you can live the life that most people can only dream of. And if you're ready to get out of the start and stop cycle and start taking the consistent actions that'll lead you to achieving your financial goals, head to rothomas.com/call and let's talk about how we can work together. All right, so that's it for this week's episode. Come connect with me over on social media. I am most often on LinkedIn, Ro Thomas, and then on Instagram at I am Ro Thomas. Subscribe to the show and leave a review, both of which help more people to find it. And take a second to think of a friend or two who could benefit from this information and share this episode with them. As we close out, friend, I pray that you take the information you learn here, apply it in your life, and open up to the realization that wealth is available to you. As you do that consistently, week after week, you'll continue to take steps to regain control of your time, build wealth, and live the life of freedom and choice you deserve. Talk to you later.